it's going to need to, Clement.
Oh boy, yeah. The biggest thing we need to see is if J-Team has actually regained their composure. That, for me, we can find out right in the first team fight. If they're able to pull off engages decisively, then yes, they still have that the spark in them, and maybe we can anticipate a comeback. But if the first team fight goes wrong, I feel like J-Team are so far down already that could just tip them over the edge.
So I do want to point out this Pantheon coming up on 12.14 as an option. If I'm reading it right, this is Kongye's first career match on this champion. And it is nice, new, and shiny. So certainly be keeping our eyes on that man. He always makes a big impact for the team. He's been a little quieter this series. I think Husha's just been so much better at getting around the map quicker, and that is one of the advantages Beyond have been able to leverage. But here we are, third time, match point. Megabank Beyond Gaming looking to pull off the seeding upset and face off against Deep Cross Gaming in the next round of the upper bracket. J-Team would be shell-shocked to get dropped without it getting a single win.
It would be absolutely terrifying for Deep Cross Gaming. You know, Beyond Gaming, their last two big wins were precisely against J-Team and against DCG. So it definitely feels like they're taking names. Some nice moves here. Of course, they're still going to know that Pantheon started onto the bot side, but Rock keeps himself hidden in the early part from that one. And if we take a look across the map right here, just a couple things to point out. Pantheon not going to be looking for that early gank into the bottom side here, as he's starting up the red, going to top lane. Meanwhile, it will be Husha potentially to come down here a little bit faster.
Yeah, good trade though, going in favor of Lil V and Enzo. Kongye with the red buff does get spotted pretty immediately. One thing Beyond Gaming have done incredibly well here, as the gank is sniffed out, is just not only tracking the jungler, but just tracking the movements in general of the J-Team members. Beyond Gaming have just been so great at covering wards.
They've been able to play off of the first rotation from Kongye just flawlessly. You know, Lee Kai always getting the first ward down in, and after the gank into the top lane last time, they were able to force Kongye to go top and then track him again for a gank into the bot side. So I think Husha's definitely been proving his chops as our best early game jungler so far. And now he's off to some mischief. They did spot out where the ward was dropped earlier. They have angle into the back.
Lil V going to need that spell shield and the cleanse. Playing very safe with the summoners, but will it be safe enough?
Mini wave is coming.
It doesn't land the Zenith Blade. I think that might have made the difference. Okay. So the Gambit doesn't pay off this time around. That's a sigh of relief for J-Team if they even know it.
They definitely do. They spotted out the buy a little bit earlier, so they're able to stay safe here. Oh, great find on Wako as well. As we've been talking about, lane sustain much weaker in this path, so the damage definitely sticks a bit more. And now Kongye has this top side open. You know, Rikai's going to be impacted by this one. Kongye could be flashing over if he so chooses to.
He does!
Here we
nice
go.
Stun, good combo. Oh, they need the kill though, Minji! Okay, he nails the charm into a minion, so the turnabout isn't as strong as it could have been, but Kongye nearly goes down in tower range, and the gank 1v2 gets turned.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate. There was a
dear.
earlier on, and the other side.
Yeah, Husha knew immediately that he had the opportunity to turn that one for his own mid laner, and the worst possible outcome for J-Team comes to pass.
Yeah, Uniboy does have his flash, but not able to react in time to that one. Husha with a great game coming into the backside here. Uniboy just decides to save his flash, come back with the TP. You know, things are not over just yet, but you definitely want to see that Pantheon apply a little bit of pressure onto Ari pre-6. Guess that's not going to happen, and is that 3 for 3 first bloods on Husha's end? I know it was in game 2. Oh.
I think it is, actually. Oh boy, Beyond Gaming just doing an absolute masterclass this series, just getting the early game ahead, and it wasn't for lack of trying. I liked the angle. I think the execution could have been a bit better from Kongye and Uniboy. Also, Silas not going to be able to burst quite as much in that early game. Does beg the question why this champion was the choice when you had something like Talia still available. maybe your burst wasn't going to be that good there either, but Minji on the Ahri is pretty solid. They left it open.
Yeah, I think taking the Sivir was definitely correct in my estimation, but
I think he could have left Gwen open. They've been banning it all series long. It hasn't done much, but here we go. Kino with the cutoff on Enzo actually denies the combination play that they wanted to make. However, to Beyond have enough damage. Uniboy burning, but he actually is able to walk away from it. But Kongi and Enzo realize they can't fight this out 2v3, and with the
charm
damage,
comes through.
Vault Breaker, the charm
Good
does
block.
manage to land. However, from downtown, that is not going to be enough distance covered by the Ultra Shock Laser, and J-Team get out by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, another big win for Beyond Gaming right there. It was a little bit scuffed in the start of that one, but they were able to find much more damage onto the backline at that point. And then we also saw Enzo, the pretty heroic step up, takes the charm to the face like a good support should, and saves the rest of the two members that were already blinking on HP bars. Let's watch this again. It was, J-Team definitely knew everyone was here, and
was interrupted.
Great play there by Kino. Wow, Husha, Minji was already missing the flash, and if that went through, Minji was dead for sure.
Oh yeah. Somehow, Uniboy gets away.
Ooh,
that's
good flash here on the back end by Enzo too. Beautiful.
Yeah. Beyond do, based on that pressure and the pushback there, they do manage to get themselves the first dragon. It is an ocean, so not nearly as important for either of these squads comparatively, as you've talked a lot about, the changes that have happened, especially on the Hextech Drake. But there's still plenty of time for that to be the Rift, which could be a big difference. Again, objective control has been key to winning on this patch, and it certainly has been key to Beyond Gaming strategy even before then. So things looking good for the Beyond Gaming side. 2-0 up in this series, looking for the sweep to set up a match with Deep Cross Gaming, the other team they beat in the final week. This is a squad that's definitely punching above their record.
Absolutely, and I'm still looking at what Pantheon can do to impact this one. The big changes to Pantheon is that he clears camps a lot faster now. He got a 30% damage boost against monsters on his Q, but I would still categorize him as a bit of a feast or famine champion. This is someone that typically does go for Gore Drinker for the most part in competitive. But he's a champion that, if his profile is much more damage oriented, and if he doesn't get a good early game as a jungler, then he does sort of fall into that vanity cap where you don't really see him doing as much compared to the Vi later on. So I'm a little bit worried about Kongria already falling behind at this juncture. I feel like he does need to get things done, but Beyond Gaming has just been tracking so well. They see him again just through this lane ward here. They actually catch the support out as well.
Yeah. Sights there. It doesn't mean they can react in time if they want to. But I do think J-Team are in a decent position to try and force a fight. Spirit Rush stolen by Uniboy. They do start off on this Herald. And we'll see if they're able to complete it. It looks like they want to turn for the fight. Lil V coming in here. This is going to be a full-on 5v5, but keep your eyes on Lee Kai to try and cut them off.
Just waiting
Herald
for Wako
still
to get close enough.
Fired. Wako comes in, the turn, there we go, they're going to get that one into the Ram Jam, and that Ultra Shock Laser, excuse me, the big Zeri ultimate comes through, they take Husha out of the fight, and Uniboy ducks and dives and dodges around the side, Kino isolated, I think they can take this one, they do.
Oh.
Uniboy getting a second right now, and they're not done just yet, Clement, they're going down the line, the Grand Starfall, excuse me, coming through the way, doesn't quite get the deletion.
And that was the decisiveness that we needed to see here. J-Team, they understood that they're flanked from two positions, and that's not a very comfortable spot to be in. So before Beyond Gaming could do anything, they fly directly onto Husha, who I believe he did have his flash, but they were still able to make that work. Beautiful chaining right here. Stun first, goes in with the knockup on the Horn. Beautifully done. Uniboy plays enough of a distraction that forces everyone to scamper up the ramp, and then Kino as a Leona doesn't have much to do afterwards. Even going in for a little bit more of those cheeky flashes afterwards onto Kongria. And J-Team, they find themselves in a good, decent position right here with the Herald already taken.
Yeah, they do. Husha did not get to do a single tick of damage in that last fight. They deleted him before he could press a whole lot of buttons. That was what we were expecting. Like the nice setup, the bait. Sure, it could have been like a bigger, not necessarily like a full wipe or anything, but it could have been a a bigger fight win for J-Team, but still 2 kills relatively cleanly, well execution, good target priority. That's what we're expecting out of J-Team. So they started to find a window back in. They couldn't quite get this tower. Looks like they did drop Shelly, so they got a charge out, but couldn't quite finish it. At the same time, plates are taken early on. That has to help. Lil V using those spoils to buy himself a 10-minute Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, I like that adaptation here as well. J-Team actually got the Herald onto their AD carry, instantly dropped it for the top lane, and now heads back to bottom side with a big mythic advantage here. So it's really nicely done, good chain all around, and getting Sivir ahead against the Zarya is exactly what you want to do here. We also see Kongya just hanging around, trying to find a potential to chase down Wako, but he's going to get spotted out.
Wako does a great job of playing it out safely for the most part, but the pressure in here, 25 seconds until the dragon spawns. This would be J-Team looking to try and even that particular score.
Yeah, it's going to be an Infernal, so very hotly contested onto this one. Beyond Gaming, the way I'm looking at this, unless they get a big catch before it happens, it's going to be a little bit too difficult. We also have to notice that there is a TP difference between Rock and Leakai. So, if Rock really wants to, he can still arrive at the fight going through mid lane here. So, I don't think Beyond Gaming can contest this one too hard.
I don't think they did. Lil V is able to keep the wave shoved as well, and they don't want to fight in the 2v2 situation. Kongye will proc the Infernal Dragon. Husha's in the area. If they wanted to try for a counter collapse, they could, but you're right. The 5v4, the number advantage, Beyond know this, and they are not going to opt to contest, so we will be split at a couple of dragons apiece.
Yeah. Infernal Drake this time, giving 6% extra AD, extra AP. It's a great one for the entire team here. J-Team are going to take this one. And, this is what I like about Kongya actually playing on something with a little bit more easier crowd control than compared to the Vi, I would say, is that he has been the main playmaker for J-Team. Despite the top lane being a lot of tanks, or despite Enzo playing so well, their main initiation still comes down to Kongya, which is why a lot of teams have actually been banning his Poppy.
Yeah, I think it's a very smart adaptation from a lot of teams, and it's good to see that he's found at least another champion that can do this type of thing. Whether or not he can still have the game-winning impact is to be said, but it's a great time to find at the 11th hour in this series. You're down 2 games. You are in danger of dropping to the lower bracket. Are you worried about Meta Falcon team? Probably not, but you certainly got to be worried about where your head's at if you go winless against a team that's 3 seeds down from you. Still plenty of game left to play, plenty of series left to play, of course, as they will have to be careful of Leakai too, as he gets his teleport back up and available, has a couple of levels lead on that Ornn, and he hasn't gotten the kills. That's crucial this time around. That difference is there as he completes himself the Divine Sunderer.
Yeah, and I would say if you drop down, it's not about MFT you should worry for, but it's whoever comes down the pipeline between
That's true.
CFO and Frank.
Because it's got to be one of them.
Teams are easy. Yeah,
no,
you have
don't
to pick
deal
one
with
of
that.
those two. And I feel like those 2 teams are probably the scariest teams on 12.14. So, just my opinion here, the teams that I predicted to get the biggest boon are Frank Esports and on 12.14. And the teams that I predicted to go down a notch were PSG and Beyond Gaming. Now, looks like I might have been wrong on that one, but let me explain my reasoning.
I can't get everything right.
Yeah, I feel like teams that rely on more of a late game strategy are going to fall down. I feel like teams that are, habitually giving over the first 2 Drakes are going to find it a little bit more difficult to survive on 12.14. Beyond Gaming so far, showcasing that they can still play a very strong early game, though.
And they're pretty good at dragons, though. I mean, keep that in mind. Like, that doesn't necessarily apply to this team. Yes, they play a late game, but it doesn't mean they don't find the timing windows, sneak these dragons occasionally. However, it is 1-to-1 apiece in this game as gets zoned away. Next dragon very far away, so J-Team would be looking for opportunity kills in this particular case. I do kind of like that they've decided to sack top for a bit, because it means they can focus on throwing their weight around bottom, and Rock is still going to have an impact in the game. It's risky because Leakai can pop off, but as long as he doesn't get the kills, you're kind of minimizing your loss there.
Well, looks like J-Team are going to be hard forcing themselves into this gank.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Not full commit. Husha's around. think they realize this could be a bit of a trap as Uniboy looks for some chains to try and catch Husha. Get himself a cease and desist. Doesn't happen. Goes right back onto the lane. So beyond our trying to stop J-Team from getting too aggressive, they succeeded for now.
And we could just see J-Team going for a straight beeline into the Herald right here. I believe they do have the earlier back, and we see Beyond Gaming actually leaving Wako in lane for the full push. So interesting decision. Indeed, J-Team are going to be heading topside. And as we've said about the second Herald, this Herald has 75% more HP. And what really matters here is if you get that beyond the 14-minute mark, you could really set up for a second charge onto an inner tower. But it does have to be a sustained charge. As we saw in the previous game, J-Team, dropped it.
Can't give it up.
First one. Yeah, you can't really do that. If you do that, then you're not getting the full benefit of a 12.14.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like you have to commit to certain plays, right? Like, yeah. I know we joke about, like, full sending it sometimes. The problem is J-Team this series have so rarely sent it at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been their problem.
Yeah. Let's see if they commit to this one. You do have the back away. They are going to lose first brick out to Wako, but they're not far behind here, and they have Lil V and Kongye in the area. Enzo is nearby. Leakai is hoping to get a catch out, but he gets pinged on the ricochet. It's weirdly one of the safest ways to push the wave, right?
Yep.
And they get that charge. Here. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, finally. And J-Team still have enough time to actually go into the bot side and contest this as well. So, well done on J-Team's part. They lose the bottom lane, but it doesn't really matter because they still have the edge in terms of the fighting power that they're going to be sending here. 15 seconds into the clock. Well done here. Leakai has to decide if he actually wants to come down for this one. He can't just teleport to anywhere at this point, but it will take a while for him to do so. That's a 6-second timer where J-Team could potentially find it engaged. Rock is going to be here first.
J-Team are feeling a lot more confident right now. Watching this team move, I don't know what was said in between this game and the last one, but whatever it was very much clearly a lot more impactful than what had been said previously, because this team has definitely gotten themselves on a different level. Yet to be seen if they win this game, they stay alive in the series. However, they're making decisions a lot quicker now.
Exactly, and I'm going to venture out on what was said. DCG, FAK, or CFO. Take your pick. And the team was like,
take your pick.
You know what? I'd rather go against DCG here.
Hey, man, that's all you got to say. That's very efficient.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true coach.
I'll be honest, I
also,
feel like J-Team losing to DCG is a lot harder on their mentality.
It would be, but you'd much rather face them in the upper bracket than face either of those other teams in the lower. I feel like anywhere else. I do love what J-Team are doing here with the Sivir, is they're just kind of going for a little guerrilla warfare hit and run. Because Lil V is fast enough. He's got 2 cleanses effectively. He has the spell shield and the summoner instead of Ghost for a more aggressive play like Wako's been doing. And yeah, I mean, he basically matches Leakai's pressure, and that's going to get a lot harder as you start to look at inner turrets, but I like that they've kept Leakai killless and still managed to just funnel gold into their Sivir. So the Sivir win condition is alive and well.
I think J-Team have much more of a late game to play around this time. Their early game still haven't accomplished all that much, but they're decidedly in a lead. And I feel like for Beyond Gaming, their comp much more relies around that catch potential from the Ahri and the Vi, and so far they just haven't been able to find it here. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher Beyond Gaming. I don't think they can take straight 5v5s around this point. I need to see them actually utilize this Ahri and go for those picks. I think going for the mid lane is definitely a big option right here, where it actually needs to be done, because if J-Team actually just group up, their chances of winning become much lower. So we'll see Beyond Gaming already setting up for potential picks. They have that top side of the ramp cleared out, so they know that there's no wards here, but they just don't find it.
Yep. Playing it out a little safer, keeping the waves cleared. Having that Sivir does mean you just destroy waves. Absolutely. Here comes Pantheon. Channel doesn't complete here for Kongye. We're looking for that Grand Starfall to try and wombo up on the combo. Charm dodged out. Nicely done. They look to set up for this outer. They got to keep in mind that Leakai can teleport at any time he wants. Uniboy steals away Kino's ultimate. Solar Flare could be huge. Here comes the Ornhorn. Solar Flare popped on the opposite side in both directions. They look to go in to finish the job. And Minji just eats a fair bit of damage, but not lethal. Can't quite take the turret down. Meanwhile, they still got to deal with Leakai up in their own top.
Really nicely played by Beyond Gaming. I'm so impressed with the fact that they didn't lose a single flash in that one. You know, J-Team were going for a 5v4 burst down, and they didn't catch anyone. So, you know, kudos to Beyond Gaming. That was insanely well played. Honestly, I think that they were supposed to lose a couple of flashes, perhaps their tower, but they didn't lose anything.
Yeah, sometimes clutch is, you know, open mouth, jaw on the floor moments. Sometimes it's just
simple dodging.
Very, very good, solid stutter steps. Yeah. Really nicely done. Wako's starting to catch up on items too. He does get that back in the Phantom Dancer. So right now the difference really only stands at that at the BF sword that Lily's got in inventory. And I do think Wako's gonna start coming into his own. 3 items there. He's still a terror. It never really got online on the J Team side in previous games, but this is Mega Bank Beyond Gaming we're talking about.
And we still have to remember that Mega Bank Beyond Gaming, they have a great dive composition. You know, we talk about triple dive. This is exactly the comp that you want to be running. Wako can stay safe by himself on the Zeri. There's a lot of trading.
Play. Yeah. Here comes that Grand Starfall, but they were ready for it. Kongye just buys a little bit of time and turns immediately in as they take Kino out of the picture and the charge is on. Meanwhile, the 1-3-1 has to turn back and run. A big swing, gold infusion for J-Team. They open so much of the map up. However, Lil V stays around a little too long. They'll reconnect, stay together once again. And Leakai, he knows he can't break that phalanx. As they turn once again, do they actually have the damage to delete him? No, they chase him away.
45 seconds to Drake. I think it's a bit better for J-Team if they still decide to back on this one. Yeah, they're not going to stay on the map with this type of HP bars. A great play from J-Team. This is exactly how you want to play against a 1-3-1. You want to burst them through middle, and they send all 5 members on it. They have the Pantheon man drop behind the tower, catching the support off. They come from different angles, just making Beyond Gaming's life that much more difficult. And, you know, this is how you want to play against a Fiora. You want to force the Fiora constantly moving in to defend terrain rather than split push.
Oh, for sure. This time the timing is really good for J-Team as well. They're going to be able to get into position on the back of the pit before the dragon spawns. Beyond are going to try to burst this down themselves. However, J-Team Cavalry have arrived, and all of a sudden Beyond look like they don't want to take the fight here. It's going to get started off. Could still be in for the flip, but J-Team know they don't want to give themselves up for a bunch of bursts. And they do have the dragon advantage at the moment. Going to reset into the pit. Kongye starts it back up again. Chasing down. Minji tries to land that charm, goes just a little out of position, dodging Orbs of Deception. Great play on both sides. But I think the advantage is J-Team here, unless the smite is right. But they want the fight. Here comes the Ornhorn. It's going to be pushed away. However, as a cluster, they've lost a lot of health here. J-Team looking to back away, and you can see Husha can't quite find the angle. The turnaround, second wind on that one. Wako does get his ultimate off, but it doesn't really find purchase. And the Honey Fruit heal, it means that J-Team, they win the war of attrition, Clement. This is gonna be Soul Point.
Beautiful measure play from J-Team. They just keep their formations intact. They don't allow Leakai to ever find a way into the backline here. They cut him off on the ramp. Uniboy even shifts back to just stun him there. And they're able to just, you know, force Beyond Gaming, keep them at arm's length, and just take them down with a ricochet. That was basically all Little V damage going through onto the other side. Very difficult to avoid if you're on the side of Beyond Gaming. They don't find any charms throughout that entire sequence. I think that was kind of a big reason why they weren't able to do anything. But no, this is the thing about 12.14 is that the Drakes are have a lot more HP. So even if you get on the Drake first, it usually doesn't mean that you can rush it down. The enemy team always has a say, and a lot of times when you're trying to rush, you actually give up positioning on those ramps for the enemy to come down here. So I actually feel like Beyond Gaming, their better game plan was keep on shoving the wave, but let J-Team get onto the scene first. Try to pick J-Team off as they funnel themselves into the Dragon Pit, which is much harder to avoid.
And J-Team just not making the same mistakes this game. Like, something has definitely clicked for them. We'll see if it stays that way, but at the 25-minute mark that we just crest here, it is, in fact, a J-Team gold lead. Not a huge one, but there it is, and they've managed to hold beyond to 1 kill. Uniboy, yeah,
that's good.
They're starting to feel pretty good about things. Like, you're down 2 games in the series. You could still go out in this one, but the team seems to have recovered their mental, and they have a big tempo advantage here. 3 items completed first by Lil V as well, and Honge's had a lot of impact in this. They can get the chase on. They will isolate Wako, and he has absolutely nowhere to go. I think that was overkill,
yeah,
but
that was
it's going to be Baron. Oh, man, that guy did not even need to... He didn't even get to live. He didn't even get to stay on the ground. He just got pinballed into the air. But this is still a flip if Husha wants to try and test his smite.
He does have that angle, and he's actually unstopped right here. Let's see if he can flash over this wall. We have seen a lot of junglers fail this one.
Oh, Minji, though. Very low. They are going to lose the tower down on bottom side. J-Team's starting to lose out a little bit here as
trying to get in.
Trying to leave
Flash
Minji.
this
Kino
one.
kept low. They swallow the Vi. You can't smite when you're in the belly of the Kench. And Uniboy is going to take out Minji. Meanwhile, though, look at the base. Look at the base. Lee Kai. He's got it chased away. All right.
And so trying to go for 3.
He wants 3. Gonna go for that triple kill. Let's see if he gets it. Nope, goes golden.
TB comes in. They have to save Uniboy.
It's a bait. Here comes Lee Kai.
He still goes in.
Yeah. This is so close right now. Lovey takes him down. They're gonna keep the train rolling. Double kill for the Sivir with the Baron buff. They got the push.
Oh boy, and Wako's the only one left to clear the waves after that one. That was a massive overreach from Lee Kai. He wanted the kill so badly. But J-Team able to flip it around. It looks like Wako will still be enough to dissuade the blinking HP bars from pushing in further. J-Team, they want to play this steady. They've got a big chunk of gold at home waiting for them. So they're just going to pick that one up instead.
Oh my goodness. So many close calls in that case, but it does all go J-Team's favor. They extend the gold lead massively. Let's take a look at that fight. It seemed like they had the confidence that they didn't have to 50-50 this, but it was hairy for a moment.
Yeah, Enzo actually does a great job here, just zoning out Minji and Husha at the same time. He gets the lick down, and Uniboy somehow able to find the 1v2 onto the top side. What was that damage? That was insane.
Yeah, I don't... Holy moly. Like, that I get.
But the Kingslayer kill on Leona was okay.
Yeah, for real. Like, that was honestly more damage than I was expecting. I was looking at his build, like, thinking, okay, where's your AP, man? Apparently it's a lot. I mean, I guess he does get a little bonus from that Infernal Dragon on this patch, Clem, and you can't underestimate it. You've been telling me all night.
Yeah, and J-Team are going to push in very confidently with a 7k advantage right now. It doesn't look like... I'm trying to think how Beyond Gaming could actually win this one, but when they're the ones being pushed in...
Yeah, looking for a miracle, but I don't think they're going to get the opportunity. They do lose a tower in mid, but I don't
Kino's
think it really matters here. Kino getting chased down by Lil V. Lil V throws down that spell shield. Didn't even need it up against the optimistic charm of Minji, and a gaping hole in their base. Lee Kai will try to flank for the hero play, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Husha as well. Uniboy turns on him. Team looks like they are a little bit split focused right now, but they'll take down the first Nexus turret all the same. Lee Kai zoned away, and they bring Pantheon right into the front lines, tagging in onto Husha. No chance for him, no shot at all, and Wako dancing, ducking, diving, dodging, and shocking with the lasers, but just not enough to get a kill onto anybody, and they will stiff-arm Lee Kai yet again as they knock bop him and take him down once more. Enzo stunned up, but damage starting to run out here. J-Team, I think they might be feeling that they want to turn around. They do lose Enzo.
Little V is also very low here.
Call the Forge God to get one knockup, but Kino still frontlining here. They will be able to turn on the damage yet again, chasing them out of their own base. It's just Minji. Just Minji left. I think they're going to do it. Clement, J-Team are staying alive.
Oh, the Heartseeker strike goes through, and it finds Wako at the very end here. It's still going to be a 2 versus 3 defend, but in comes the TP as well. They're going to go straight for
the kill. And they bring Minji. Look at all that damage. Look at the knockups. That's going to be it. Oh, they even hit him with the G-Rex, and that is going to be J-Team coming back in Game 3.
Good play here coming in from J-Team. I think they were a lot more composed this game around, and the Pantheon, even though it didn't find that much early game action, it did work wonders against the 1-3-1. I feel like J-Team have found kind of the way you burst open Beyond Gaming. It's that you cast them out when they try to get greedy, when they try to farm up their side lanes. You just burst them with the 5-man. They're able to kill Kino and Wako repeatedly, just going for the mid lane towers here, and finally it awarded them the win.
Kongye in his first career